Hi, welcome to Inside the Moms Club, where being a mom is the coolest place to be. Here in the Moms Club, we believe that what embarrasses you now will make a great story later. And let's face it, you don't laugh sometimes, you're gonna cry. Join us in having a good laugh together. I'm Monica Samuels. You are now inside the Moms Club, your private destination for all things mom. Welcome, moms! Welcome, moms! Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. I'm your host, Monica Samuels, and today we have a really, really fun show. I mean, this is going to be really fun. It's a trip down memory lane for some of us. It's very nostalgic, and it's just, you're going to absolutely love it. Trust me on that one. Now, the first thing, it's about collecting, believe it or not. It has something to do with collecting. So for me personally, I'm a huge collector. Like over the course of my life, I have collected campaign buttons. I still have an Alf Landon tie. Look him up if you don't know who that is. It's kind of mothy. I don't know how I ended up with that, but I have that. I'm a Disney pin collector. I'm a sucker for that. I have coffee mugs from all over the world. I can't wait for my children someday. They're going to fight over that, I know, later on. When I'm no longer here, it's going to who's going to get that mug from Yosemite? My husband thinks I collect shoes and books, and I kind of do, actually, because you can only have so many. But my biggest collection, my most prized possession, is I am a huge old movie buff. And my favorite actress was Olivia de Havilland. So I bid on this vase that she had in her home in Paris. And it is now in my house in Austin, Texas. And whenever I have a guest come over or someone who's going to even get near it, I take them over and I explain very nicely what it is. And, that's a warning to them that they'd better not have anything happen to it. So, because it means that much to me. So I love collecting cool things. And we have today with us a true collector. I mean, if you want to talk about collecting, she is the ultimate collector. She's an art collector and philanthropist, and she's getting a lot of attention for purchasing the Brady Bunch house. Please welcome Tina Trahan. Welcome to the Moms Club. So, Tina, how do you buy the Brady Bunch house? How are you the owner now of the actual Brady Bunch house, which you're there right now, actually?
Yes, I do. I decided we should do the podcast from here, or maybe you decided. Whoever did, it was a great idea.
Oh, that was our producer. It was really my idea, if you want to know the truth.
Oh, it was a great idea.
No, it was a great idea, and we're going to love to see parts of it, hopefully in a minute. So there was a renovation. HGTV did a renovation, a very Brady renovation, I believe, and they then decided to sell the house. Now, what was really cool about their renovation is what we always saw in the TV show was the exterior scene. The exterior was all that was ever seen really on the show. The interior looked totally different. HGTV went in there and they completely renovated the whole thing to match what the sets on the show look like, which to me is like incredible. So then they decided they needed to sell it and they put it on the market for $5.5 million. You're also a wheeler dealer, my dear. You got it for $3.2 million, and that's just incredible. So, what inspired you to buy the Brady house? I mean, that's interesting.
Well, it's funny. Once I knew HGTV had done all the renovation to it, I was just concerned something was going to happen to the house that all the Brady fans would be upset about. So I bought it just so I could control what happens to this house. And I'm trying to get it culturally landmarked also.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. And it should. Isn't that the second most photographed house in America after the White House? I think I read that somewhere.
You know what? And I will say that is a true story because every time I'm at the house, there's constantly one after another cars pulling up taking photos.
Oh, yeah.
Non-stop. Every day. So that's a true story for sure.
Well, what's the history? Now, the house is in Studio City. What's the history of the actual house itself? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the house was built I want to say 1959. I think that's correct. And it was used as the exterior shots of the show. And then the woman who owned the house, I think she had it for 49 years, she passed away. So the house was sold by her family. And that's what was in 2018 when HGTV bought it. So the same woman owned it for 49 years. And at that point, it didn't look so much like the outside of the house anymore. There was, a stone little wall that she had built up, and the colors weren't the same. So when HGTV got a hold of it, they made it completely like it was on the show.
And they added, I understand, 2,000 square feet, and there wasn't really a second floor. On the show, there's a second floor, correct? And then they added all that.
Yes, they added it all. Right now, it's 5,140 square feet.
Wow, that's a big house.
It is.
Now, could you actually live in that house? You don't live in that house, right?
No. I mean, someone could, although the kitchen appliances are just decorative. The fridge they got, that avocado fridge from the 70s or late 60s, they were lucky to find it. It doesn't work. Nothing's plugged in, nothing's connected. The water is connected in the kitchen, though, so you can run this thing.
So someone like me who can't really cook and has takeout all the time could live there, but no one else could really. That wouldn't be a
Exactly. Place. And plus the bathrooms aren't, what we're used to. Like nowadays we're used to like taking the shower head and, doing what we want. It's like a static. Everything is exactly like out of the 70s. So we're so used to modern conveniences that I don't think anyone would want to live in the house.
Yeah. So when you purchased it, what was your motivation for buying it? I mean, I know you said you wanted to preserve it, but are you a big Brady Bunch fan or?
Well, I think like everyone, that grew up when I grew up in the 80s, after school, we would watch the reruns. And, we didn't really have a choice. I think it was like maybe Bob Ross, is that the painter, and like Victory Garden. I think there were 3 or 4 channels. So every kid my age grew up watching it. And so I grew up with it. I didn't watch the original time it aired when it was on Friday nights from 1969 to 1974. I only saw the reruns. So I think we all just love the Brady Bunch and, just what it represents and nostalgia. And when I bought the house, I thought it would be, I definitely knew I was going to donate it to charities to use for a charity auction item. Mm-hmm. I knew I would do that. And I knew that, a friend of a friend might want to come, and they're coming to LA, and someone will text me and say, hey, I want to come see the house. I knew that would happen a lot. So I guess that's what I thought was going to happen, like charity events or fundraising situations using the house as the winning bid. So
that's a really cool idea. Now, this isn't the only house that you've in your collection, is it? I mean, you have another house you've purchased for similar thought process.
Well, I'm trying to really collect historic homes. The only other house that's really significant that I purchased that anyone really would know about is a house called Stone Manor. It's in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and that is about an hour from O'Hare. So it's kind of like a beach community for people that are in the Chicago area, like the Hamptons would be. That's
really cool. Well, I love history and historic preservation and finding cool homes and things like that. So I totally admire you and appreciate the fact that you're somebody out there doing that. That is tremendous, because a lot of these places do get demolished.
Well, that house, it was its own challenge because it's 48,000 square feet. And so it was a beast to try to bring back to life, and, just getting all new electrical, like everything new, and make it, safe and current and updated, and just fix everything was a big undertaking, and the person that owned it in the 70s retrofitted and put an in-ground pool on not in-ground, but a pool on the roof, like retrofitted it on the roof, and he had a high dive. And it was like, what is going on?
Oh my gosh.
So there was a lot to contend with there. So it's I started like it was 8 years ago, and I'm still not done.
So I guess we know that if Monticello ever goes on the market, we know who's going to be bidding on it, and we know who. You'd be good. You know, you have some experience here with those kind of challenges.
Yes.
No, that's great. So you're also a mom.
Yes.
So how many children do you have?
I have 2, and my daughter is 18, and she just started University of Miami last year. So that's been a fun challenge with her dealing with the humidity and the many bad hair days that were going on. So that was tough in the beginning. You know, when it's August in Miami, that's not a fun place to be.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, and with the Brady Bunch, so you're talking about watching it in reruns as a kid in the 80s. And I mean, it's a little earlier than that, but same kind of deal. I saw it in reruns and sitting, you know, eating ding dongs and having Dr. Pepper. And every day you watch the Brady Bunch. But is that still, I mean, with so many options out there, is it still in syndication where kids did your kids... Do they still see the Brady Bunch, or have they seen it?
It's funny. I have a lot of friends that raise their kids watching the Brady Bunch because it really does have like good lessons, and there's good values in the show, and nobody doesn't like it. Everyone loves it. So my kids have seen it. They had not heard of it though when I bought the house. You know, they thought, you know, Tom Brady didn't live in that house. You know, they didn't understand, you know, they didn't understand and appreciate it at all. But then they were watching there's episodes of The Simpsons and The Family Guy and Modern Family. You know, there's so many shows that they mentioned the Brady Bunch. And so all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, that is cool. You know, my mom is cool.
Well, yeah. Their mom is very cool. That is a very cool. In fact, I know in terms of the sales history of the house that at one point Miley Cyrus was interested in it. Lance Bass even made a bid on it, and HGTV beat him in the end for it. But he later went and visited and thought they did a great job restoring it or recreating it, really.
It's funny. Danny Brown, who represented HGTV in the sale, told me that when it sold in 2018, that there were 10 people in a bidding war. I didn't realize there were 10 different people. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. I didn't realize there was that many. Everyone knew about Lance Bass, but that was well documented. I didn't know about Miley Cyrus, and I didn't know there were 10 people total. That's a lot of people.
Wow. Well, you know, just even looking behind you, is that the famous staircase? That's probably the most famous part of. Yeah, we can see it back there. For those on our YouTube channel can see it. That whole set. I mean, and it was a set. That's just to see it now as a real place that you can go.
Right, and I've done a lot to it since I bought it. I bought a bunch of vintage bikes. I bought a 1971 Plymouth Satellite station wagon. I got a 1971 Plymouth Barracuda convertible and a 1973 Caprice Classic convertible. And I had them wrapped the same color as the show. And the wagon is sitting out front of the house, and in the driveway, the dark red convertible that Marsha and Greg did their driving tests to see.
Oh my gosh.
Closest without hitting the egg. So I've got an orange cone in front of the car with an egg on it.
That is so cool. I mean,
when people come by to take pictures, then they get excited about that too.
Yeah, honestly, people. I mean, you could have a line out down the street of people wanting just to tour it. I'm sure, because that's pretty cool. In fact, you mentioned the station wagon. Last night I was looking at old clips from the Brady Bunch, getting ready for this, and there they were, all going camping and getting in that station wagon, and so many kids that one of them was shoved out the front door and they had to come back around to get back in. Yeah, so I mean that's really cool. Now the horse. That horse statue, is that still there? I mean, that was always kind of something that people recognized.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it's still here. Can I turn it?
Yeah. Now, is that something that you added, or how did that come in?
No, left that. I added the vase that, don't play ball in the house vase.
Oh, wow.
HGTV didn't leave that.
Uh-huh.
So,
this is just like a museum piece too. It's like it's a reflection of the 70s. I mean, the 60s and 70s, and that is so cool because that part of history right now hasn't really been carefully represented. And I think in part is because we kind of were a little bit embarrassed about that part of history in some ways, like the 70s, the clothes were, just. I think people felt a little bit uneasy about that for a while, but now everybody's going back to it. In fact, your daughter probably had to do some dress for the 70s or 80s or something for school, just like we did the 50s when I was in school.
Absolutely. And another thing is when I look at the episodes now, I love all of Carol's clothes, and the girls all dress. They're adorable. All of their wardrobe on that show was impeccable.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, we've, for our show, I'm proud to say, we have personally met two of the the six Bradys. We have interviewed Susan Olsen, Cindy Brady, and last year we got to meet Barry Williams, Greg Brady at Dancing with the Stars. So I've got 4 more Bradys to go. But have any of them, I know they were there and they helped even with the demolition for HGTV. They were participating in all that. Have you had any of them come by and visit again, or are you incorporating them at all into this whole vision?
Yes, big time. I really am. And they have been here. Christopher Knight was here.
Christopher Knight.
He signed the vase.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Christopher Knight, that was my Brady crush.
I'm hearing a lot.
The other two are great, but
by the way, I didn't realize how many people had a crush on Marcia. And I did not realize how many people had a crush on Peter. Oh. But I'm finding that out now. I'm finding out that a lot of that.
Count me on that list. Yeah.
So Susan Olsen was here as well.
Uh-huh.
And I had a silver platter made just like on the show and all the names engraved, and she signed that.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. Well,
and I ended up, so Christopher Knight, when he came, his wife Kara came with, and they are unbelievable. They're the greatest people seriously, they are the nicest, most amazing people, literally, that I've ever met.
Well, I would expect that because, like I said, I love him. I don't know her, but I think he's my favorite.
They're the cutest. And, also, so you met Barry. Did you meet him at the dance?
Oh, yeah. No, he was really nice, too. And I would say that, my childhood crushes came more in line with what my age kind of was around the time. So I love Peter. But Greg, he did feel to me more like an older brother. So I didn't. Well, but he's super nice.
Right. That's what I've heard. Did you know that Chris, I'm thinking about the show.
Yeah.
Chris and Barry have a podcast called The Real Brady Bros. And it's a really good podcast, when you want to hear about all things Brady and just a lot of interesting things. I didn't realize they had that podcast. It's really good if you ever want to check it out. I love it. So, and one thing that I've really been trying to do when you talk about the horse, there are so many things. I went back and I've met a lot of huge Brady fans, major Brady fans, that moderate fan pages on Facebook and stuff like that. And they know the name of every episode. They know, if you say an episode number, they know what it was about. They're so detail oriented on things that most people wouldn't notice. And so I've gotten to know one girl especially named Susie, who's really helped me a lot curate things for the house. Like, for one thing, for example, HGTV did not get for the show was this yellow Batosi ceramic cat that was in every episode of the show, and it would move around the house. I remember that. You do?
I do remember that. Trust me, I've seen them all about 500 times.
Okay, so they made one out of paper mache because they couldn't get the real cat. There aren't a lot of them, but I found one in the world, and it was in Italy. Here, it's right here.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Yep. Wow.
So I got the cat. So I'm trying to get all of the things in the house that were really in the house during that time period. And then there was another thing. There was a sandstone vase when you walk in, like on the side by the closet, when you walk in the front. And I found it in Paris, and it's right here. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
So I'm getting all of these, artifacts that real Brady fans will remember and appreciate. I've had a lot of fun doing it too.
That is so cool. I'm thinking about this. There's certain shows that people are just huge fans of, and then it becomes like it's bigger than the show ever. So the Brady Bunch is one of them. The Golden Girls. You said your child's at school in Miami. You might go find that house and see if maybe they'll.
It's in Brentwood.
Huh?
Isn't that in Brentwood?
Oh, is it? Oh, is it? Was it really in Brentwood? Well, there you go. That's not right. That's not right. Okay. No, but that makes sense. That makes total sense. Well, buy that one. But you know what? But the fans of that show, same kind of deal. You see these people talking about, oh, well, she had there was this in the lanai and all that. They're just certain houses and certain shows that there's that attachment to. Just like a competitor of the Brady Bunch, the Partridge Family, their bus. I mean, you wouldn't remember what their house looked like, but that bus was pretty iconic. So.
Wait, now this Golden Girls thing is bothering me. Was the house in Brentwood, or am I making that
I don't know. Well, we'll find out. Tina, you and I will chat later. We'll see if we can figure this out, because I think.
You know what? I was disappointed to find out that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air house was not in Bel-Air. Like, that was not cool. I thought it could at least have been in Bel-Air. That one is in Brentwood, but you can't really see it because there's like the big driveway gate and a lot of ficus, so you can't really see it. But
actually, we've confirmed
it. The house is in Miami.
No, we just Googled and confirmed, because we all know Google knows everything. It is in Brentwood.
What?
Yeah. I shouldn't have brought it up. It's very disappointing, and forget that.
Like thinking, like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, well, you even mentioned the Fresh Prince. Now, the Home Alone house, I think, is in Illinois, but I'm not sure. But you could just start. My point being, you could start a thing where since you're collecting these houses, you could be the woman that collects the iconic houses of television.
Can we talk about the Home Alone house for a second? The owners of the Home Alone house reached out to me last November and asked if I wanted to buy the house.
Oh.
So I flew there. It's in Winnetka, Illinois. I was born in Illinois. So I was like, okay. So I flew there and I went to see the house. Like, it was like maybe the first week of December last year. And I had never seen the movie, I lived in New York for 15 years, so I saw the Lost in New York one. Neither of my kids had seen the movie either. So I'm at this house looking around, and they're making references to, remember this part, this window where he slid down the stairs or whatever. And I had no frame of reference, but then they're like, well, your homework assignment is to watch the movie. So like 3 weeks later, I finally watched the movie. It was a cute movie, by the way. The house had nothing to do with the movie. It was a beautiful home. Don't get me wrong. It was, it was like it was built yesterday. The kitchen was modern, and everything was just very, well, I wouldn't say modern, but everything was new and nothing looked like the house. So I thought, I don't know what I would do with this, because, I just didn't even know what to do with it, if I could do anything. And then it turned out that Winnetka, the town it's in, they're very strict about even events. Like I wouldn't Airbnb it, but you can't even like have events and stuff. But if someone were to buy it and try to Airbnb it, they couldn't. Not that I would do that anyway, but I just didn't know what I would do with it. So I did not end up buying it. And then they put it on the market, I think a month ago, and it sold. So, but yeah, they reached out to me. And it's funny that you mentioned the Home Alone house. And then what is the other one? Full House just went on the market.
Oh, Full House. Yeah. Yeah.
But I never saw that show, and the inside is beautiful.
There's a lot of them. Well, I'm going to run through with you. I have a quick survey for you, because as the owner of the Brady Bunch house, you probably are going to be asked a lot of these questions. So I'm going to give you quotes from the show, and you tell me which character said it. Okay. Now, do you know what? It's not a tough test. And if you forget, don't worry. So the first one is, you ask a foolish question, you get a foolish answer. Who said that?
I don't know that. I'm going to say Mike.
Oh, it was Alice because she was so wise. Oh, yes. My nose. Oh, my nose. Marsha, absolutely. You're going to like this one. I am a little sunflower, sunny, brave, and true. From tiny bud to blossom, I do good deeds for you.
I'm going to guess Cindy.
No, that was Peter. Remember when he had to be a sunflower girl? Mm-hmm.
So bad at this. Okay.
No. Well, you'll see. This you can study up later. This is my last one, and then we're going to meet some lovely ladies who have a lot of questions for you. This one actually affected my own family because my sister, this was always a big thing with her. Well, all day long at school, I hear how great Marcia is at this or how wonderful Marcia is at that. Marcia. Jan, absolutely, yes. I think you got a very good passing grade. Good job, Tina. Good job. And you're doing such a great service to all of us Brady fans out there, which I love. Well, we have with us some ladies who would love to ask you more questions. They are our Zoomer moms. So welcome, Zoomer moms. Welcome to the Moms Club. Okay, ladies, I'm just going to introduce each one of you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and do you have a question for Tina? First of all, Gayla, welcome.
Hi, how are you, Tina? A lot of questions I want to ask you, beauty tips, but that's not what we're here for. You're gorgeous, and congratulations on getting the house. I just wanted to ask you, because you can tell you're very passionate. I mean, that you're in your zone. This is your passion. You get very excited about it. What made you want to start collecting these houses and all the artifacts?
You know, I have a little bit of a problem when I love something and I'm just like, I have to have it. I have to have it right now. And then sometimes I think, why did I buy this? You know? So it's just mostly, I would say, impulse purchases.
That's honest.
Not always knowing what I'm going to do, but just wanting to have it. Just wanting to have it, I guess, wanting to make sure nothing else happens to it and, I can preserve it.
I love when you said, I want to make sure I had control over it. So I just bought it. And I was like, oh, that made me giggle. Thank you.
Only way to control it, right?
I love it.
If you like impulse purchases, I know Gayla is a flight attendant. So do you have a plane that you might be available? Yeah. I'm an impulse shopper myself too, Tina. Trust me, I know exactly what that's like. I haven't impulse bought a house yet, but that's coming.
It's early. You never know.
She's with Southwest Airlines, which is the great airlines doesn't get me home, I hope, today. In fact, I'm planning on it. Kim, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little about yourself, and do you have a question for Tina?
Thank you. My name is Kim Coley. I am the mother of 2 sons, and I am a volunteer firefighter and a North Carolina first responder.
Amazing.
We have an exciting development here on the show. We have a special surprise guest. Tony, can you introduce bring in our surprise guest?
We have Christopher Knight on the phone.
Woo! Welcome. Wow.
Getting in at the wire.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Welcome, Christopher. Wow, I'm going to have to fan myself here. I'm one of your biggest fans, and I know you hear that all the time. So don't believe those other people that told you they were, because I am.
If I'm in the room with Barry, he insists that they're his biggest fan. So, but luckily he's not around right now, so I can be he can be my biggest fan. So. Thank you. I appreciate the love and the enduring love, because it's been a while.
Well, we are very excited. We are here today with Tina, as you know, who bought the Brady house. And she said she didn't even know you were going to call in. And she said so many amazing things, amazing, as we say here on the Moms Club, amazing things about you, because you're such a great guy and such a wonderful person.
Well, she's sweet, and she's become quite a good friend with my wife, Kara. And nothing pleases me more. Another Midwesterner.
Yeah. Well, Tina, do you have a few words for Christopher here?
Do I?
Yeah. Anything you want to share with him about what you've been sharing today?
I mean, this is the best surprise ever. I mean, this is everyone's dream is to get Christopher Knight on the phone. So you made a lot of people happy today. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Christopher. This has been my biggest dream. I'm going to live on this the rest of the day. It was so exciting to get to talk to you. So thank you so much for calling in.
You'll have to thank Lori Muslow is an old friend and muse. So she had called me yesterday. I had no idea when calling back today that it would be that I'd be speaking on a podcast. But I'm very pleased to. What is the podcast today about?
It's called Inside the Moms Club, and it's moms, it's women all over America, and trust me, there's lots of your fans are out there are going to hear this. So
I am glad that you invited me in to the Moms Club.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I feel very privileged.
Anytime. Well, thank you so much, Christopher, for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks for calling, Christopher.
Bye.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. That was amazing, as we say here on the Moms Club. That was so that's so fabulous. I can hardly go on, but we have to go on. So we're going to return to. I'm going to welcome in Kim again, and you can ask your question. Sorry to interrupt you there, Kim, but here we go.
Oh, no.
Okay, are we ready, Tony? Okay, Kim, welcome to the Moms Club. Do you have a question for Tina?
I don't. I wanted to make a comment saying thank you because I'm not one to collect items, and yet I would miss the nostalgic opportunity to share with my kids if people like you all didn't collect things and be willing to share them with us. So I'm just so grateful. I don't remember the cat, and I watched every episode.
You're going to notice it now.
I know, and I'm so grateful. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that comment. And can I tell you something else? One thing that I really have been trying to figure out, it's coming on a year now that I've had the house. I haven't figured it out yet. I really want to find a way to get fans into the house. And that's the thing that's been a little challenging because I don't know how to do it. And also, I really want to get the cast members of the show involved too, where the cast members can be at the house and meet fans because there are just so many fans. So I'm working on that too because the experience is unbelievable. People walk in the house, it's like they walked into their childhood.
I have an idea. I can only imagine a Moms Club event at the Brady Bunch house. I mean, you want to talk about getting some fans in there. You would have it would be probably standing room only everywhere. The house would be filled.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's what my big thing that I'm really trying to do.
Yeah.
And so
let's talk about that after the show. Monroe, welcome to the Moms Club. Do you have a question for Tina?
Good afternoon and congratulations on your purchase.
Thank you.
You're talking to the All Things Brady fan. I don't think anybody watched more episodes of the Brady Bunch than I did. Hi, I'm Monroe Brown and I'm a native of Shreveport. I ran into Lori here in Shreveport and she invited me on the show. Of course, I'm a business consultant and I specialize in brand development. And I have a big question for you. What are your plans for the Brady Bunch house? And how can I help in implementing that plan?
Well, I do have some really exciting things planned in the fall for the 55th anniversary of the show, which is September 26th. I have some really exciting announcements I really want to, like I said, I really want to get the cast together and I want to get, fans in the house with the cast. So my plans for the house right now. So I just started, in fact, a website. It's called thebradyexperience.com.
Oh, wow.
And then you can become a member and you will have exclusive invitations to the house to meet cast members, just for the whole experience. It's very limited, though, the membership, because, there's only one house and so many days in the year to get people in it. But that's the way right now that I plan to get people into the house and meeting cast members. So that's my plan right now. I have bigger plans. I can't tell you.
Well, I definitely love your idea.
It'll be on that website.
That's a great idea.
Exciting, and
that is a great idea.
That is a great idea, and I'd love to connect with you off camera. Hopefully, we'll connect later, and have an awesome afternoon. And congratulations!
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's
Shreveport, Louisiana.
She's in Shreveport, yeah. And that's the great thing about the Moms Club is we just connect all these amazing women together. So we'll definitely get you all connected. Jen, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question?
I am a mom of 5 boys, and I remodel houses. And I was wondering, is everything done in the house, or do you have plans to do more remodeling? And what kind of projects are you going to work on in that house? Because I love preserving things like that and doing projects. I'm a project person. And so you're talking about interior stuff, but like structural or design stuff, are you going to do anything different, or is it exactly like you want it?
That's a great question. If I do anything, then it would end up being changing what HGTV did. So for that reason, I'm not doing anything to change things. I have repainted the entire house with the same colors they used. And I've done a lot of like finish work that HGTV wanted it to look, it's okay for camera, but for real life in person, just needed some fine tuning. I did a lot of that where like the base molding would come like 4 inches short of the end of the wall, things like that. I had fixed. But as far as the outside of the house, the exterior, the interior, I'm not doing anything to change anything. It's all just preserving what's here already.
Jennifer, and I know Jennifer, so Jen remodels. Jennifer's an architect. Jennifer, do you have a question?
I do. Actually, first, I just want to say I am so grateful for you. If I could come to the screen and hug you, I would. I mean, I know how much work and like heart and soul you've put into this house. And I read about what you've done in Wisconsin as well. And that is quite an undertaking. And, I know, I mean, the ability to sort of stick with the project and pay attention to the details, it makes all the difference. And I know that people are going to be so grateful once they have a chance to see it, even if they're only able to see it through a TV show. Or, I mean, I watched the renovation of the Brady house with the Brady cast, and to see all the time and energy they put into recreating the horse, custom printing the wallpaper. It was all, and it brought us all back together as a family, because like the Bradys were our neighbors. Like I remember them like they lived down the street. And so it's been so heartwarming and like good for the soul, what you've done. And I just want to say, so grateful for you. And
well, you know what? I really want you to end up coming inside the house, because it's such I can't describe it. It's just wild. Like one woman, one of the super fans asked if she could bring some people that were super fans over, and she had some friends over, and one of them walked in and just started crying because she was so, she was like, oh my gosh, she was so happy, so it's such I just want to share that with people. So that is my real goal here, and I need to find a way to do it. So, because
I can tell that you are good at moving mountains, so I know you'll find a way. Because it's no small undertaking to take this on and maintain it, and then also expand on all that they've done already. Just like the egg on the cone. I mean, are you kidding me? That's amazing. My father has a house. He bought the pharmacy he grew up in his little town in upstate New York, and he's preserving it. And so people can do what you're doing, these sort of house museums, or, invest in significant architecture when they have the ability to do it, or just be the people who support you in saying, thank you for doing that. We as a town care about it, and we're going to, support the designation of this building as a landmark. Like, so you don't have to be the person who can buy it. You can just be the person who is a supporter of the effort And so I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing. Do you have your if there's one thing out there that was on the market that you could scoop up, what would it be?
Ooh, wow, that's a tough one. Well, I know there was a big to-do about Marilyn Monroe's house over in Brentwood. I say Brentwood a lot.
Yeah.
But I know there was a big deal about that, and they just got it from, kept it from being torn down. So I guess any house or structure that is in, peril of being demolished is one that I would want. So, but that doesn't really answer your question. I mean, one house I really want is the Bob Hope house, that John Lautner house in Palm Springs.
Oh, wow.
I think Ron Burkle owns it right now, but that is one house I would love to have. That is my goal. I mean, it's beautiful. It's old. Mm-hmm. That's what I would love.
That sounds, that would be amazing. Misty, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you have a question.
I do. Thanks so much for having me on. I am a mom of a blended family of 7 children, so you can pray for me.
Almost the Brady Bunch, yeah.
I have I wanted to say I also appreciate that you're preserving. I'm a huge fan of the homes in Newport, and so sad to see that a lot of them were demolished. I just appreciate retaining the character that we used to put into building a structure or home. My question now is revolving into a suggestion. A lot of the I've seen historical landmarks are doing like virtual walkthroughs. So we now have the virtual headsets where we can actually be present and walk through. Museums are now doing it where you can go through a museum and actually see the piece. You want to preserve the home. It's small, having a ton of people to walk through, although I'd love to come through would be great. But just to be able to put on a VR headset and walk through the home and see the characters in the home today, that would be amazing. I would love to see that.
Yes, someone mentioned that to me recently. I feel like it was in the last week that someone mentioned, like we were talking about how in a museum you can put on headsets and, do like virtual. We talked about that same thing. So that is not outside of the realm of possibility.
That would be great.
It would be great. It would be great. And, being here though, it's so crazy. And I just wish there were enough, there was a way to do that. However, I like your idea and it's a great idea. And it makes a lot of sense, especially for people who live far away and, can't make it out to LA. That's a great idea.
That is a great idea. There's so many opportunities with this that are so cool. I mean, I'm kind of jealous. I would love to do what you're doing.
I haven't done any of them. All I've done is, there've been charity tours, and I feel like I'm being really selfish not sharing this house. So that's, I'm working on it.
Well, as a Brady fan, I'll be happy to share it with you and come over and just hang out a little bit. Well, thank you so much, Tina. This has been tremendous, and this has been amazing. So you said we can all look for, is it the bradyexperience.com? Is that what or where do we find more information on this?
Well, so it's just like the website's just going up now. And with a membership on that, you will get special invitations to come see the house, meet the cast members, everything Brady that would just be a dream. There's going to be a limited amount of people that can have the membership because, I can't have like huge parties or anything. I want more like, small gatherings. But yeah, if you're a member, you're going to come.
Oh, wow. I'll have to be looking for that so I can be one of the first people. I don't want to be left out of that for sure. Well, thank you so much, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. It's been great. I mean, this has been so much fun. And I just want to remind you moms out there, now here's something very special. I have to say tonight I might have some trouble sleeping because, of course, Christopher and I talking to me on the phone. I mean, I don't even know. But I need to sleep, and I need to sleep well. So New Calm is where I turn to. That's how I managed to get here today because I had a great night's sleep, and it's all thanks to New Calm, which for those of you listening on the podcast, it's spelled NUCALM, and it is an app that you can get help with your sleep, with focusing, with your energy. I can't say enough great things about it, and I highly recommend it to every mom out there. And the Newcom people have been so generous to moms out there because they know how stressed out moms can get and how important this is, that they have offered a special for moms. You just put Moms Club in the code when you check out for your purchase and for your subscription. For every month of your subscription, every month you get 15% off. You don't see that every day with subscription services like that. So that's great. So definitely check out Newcom and check out the moms at Inside the Moms Club. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. We're everywhere. And check us out on our website, InsideTheMomsClub.com, where you can also, listen, ladies, you too can be Zoomers. Did you think these Zoomers got to talk to Christopher Knight? Does that happen every day? If you want to be on the Moms Club, go to our website, InsideTheMomsClub.com, and you can submit a video, and you might be selected to be a Zoomer yourself. So all great stuff here on the Moms Club. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I can't believe, it goes by so fast every single episode. But we will be back next time with more great, interesting, exciting moms like Tina here. And until then, remember our motto. If you don't laugh sometimes, moms, you're going to cry. Don't cry. Laugh. It's fun. And we will see you next time inside the Moms Club. And also, remember, we're on the UBN Go International Podcast Network. So check out some of their other great shows.